You're now tuned into the Lady Charmaine Live Show, and I'm your host, Lady Charmaine, and we got another great night for it today. It's Lady Charmaine and Hot Topics, and I got some friends always joining me in the building. But what I want you to do right now, I want you guys to take the time. Okay, look, I want you guys to take the time. Sorry, that was my phone. I want you guys to take the time right now to like and share this page. And also, we got some great hot topics because tonight we're talking about all things relationships. So here's the number. It's 916-226-9226. Again, that number is 916-226-9226. And Hot Topics is coming up right after this. Back to Hot Topics with Lady Charmaine. And again, that number is 916-226-9226. And we want you all to join in on the conversation. All you got to do is call in and give us your comments because we definitely want to hear from you tonight. And of course, I always got some special people joining me in the studio. And tonight, joining me in the studio, I got my husband, Joe Bassett. Hey, babe. How you doing?
Hello. Doing great, babe.
Also
All
got
right.
my girl, Miss Marie Hutchison.
Can you see me? Can you see?
And we got the hair hustler. He goes by the name
Mr.
of
Hustler.
Derek.
You know it's possible.
Dennis. How y'all doing this evening?
The bearded one.
How are you doing?
Yeah,
Great.
I'm good.
Doing great.
See, I like how my husband said. He said that he called it the bearded one.
The bearded one.
Take that. Receive it.
I think I like that one too. So what y'all been doing? It's been a minute. It's been about 2 weeks since we've been on. How you guys been doing? What y'all been up to?
Good.
Hanging.
Good. Still alive, huh?
Yeah.
Enjoying this weather.
Blast.
Enjoying this cool down on the weather.
Oh my God! It wasn't
kinda
it
nice.
time? Because I'm tired of
Yeah.
that heat.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
Oh,
am.
you tired of heat?
I'm so tired of it.
I'm ready
lady.
for the rain. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Me
love
too.
the rain.
I'm
Me
ready for
too.
some. Yeah, ready for
Aquarius.
some comfort
Aquarius.
food.
All
some,
that, yeah.
all that good old
Yeah.
stuff coming.
I want to keep the 77 degrees.
Yes, that's
No,
that part.
lady.
77
That part.
degrees.
65.
65. 65 and home.
Rainy
Sounds
and
good.
windy.
Ooh,
Oh my.
Okay.
not all week though.
Not
No,
always.
no. Not all week. Can't be no Seattle up in here. You know, it's still Sacramento, so we gotta have some sunshine.
Come on.
But 77 was good because we were out in the porch. Rarely we're out in the porch and hanging out. My wife was like, "What kind of degrees is this? I like
kind
this
of
weather.
degrees is
What's this?" I said, "It's 77." She said, "I like this." We was out there just hanging.
I do. I just like a little sun kiss on my face with a little breeze.
Sun
and
kiss.
That is so beautiful.
The
about
sun
Sinai?
kissed one.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you guys for joining us on the show tonight. We definitely want to hear from you on this evening. But we're about to kick this off because my husband has sent me this. And I had seen it on social media before, and then he sent it to me. So I said, okay, I'm going to talk about it. Because a lot of women have this question, and hopefully tonight we'll be able to help answer this question with two married men in the building. And the question is why men don't marry. And this is coming out of a book called Men on Strike by author Helen Smith. She's a doctor. And here is, I think it's point number 2, and it says, why men don't marry. Number 2 says, because there's nothing in it for them. What exactly does marriage offer men today? Men know there's a good chance they'll lose their friends, their respect, their space, their sex life, their money, and if it all goes wrong, their family. They don't want to enter into a legal contract with someone who could effectively take half their savings, pension, and property when the honeymoon is over. Men aren't wimping out by staying unmarried or being commitment phobes. They're being smart. Unlike women, men lose all power after they say I do. Their masculinity dies too. Do you guys think that that is a true statement?
Oh my God.
Brother John.
So the reason why I posed that article is because I see parts of it as reasons why people or men use as not getting married. I don't agree with all of it. I don't believe you lose your masculinity. I do believe there's certain give and takes when you do get married, and that's by choice. But it strikes a chord and with a lot of men that I know because they have, when you're single, you have, especially now, women are pretty aggressive. Women now are, they lowered
going
their
for it.
bar, okay, as far as what they require in a relationship. They're okay with being side chicks. They're okay with just giving you all the benefits of marriage without being married. They're okay with all this stuff. And you're like, you can have multiple women. They're okay with that now.
Yeah.
So for a man to commit and be married, he's like, why you bringing you giving up this life for a life that you could potentially lose everything in?
Yeah.
And then what stood out to me in that article was we know it's God first, family. Family. God and family.
Right.
God I can depend on, but marriage is at a 50% bar right now with far as even being successful.
Absolutely.
Even the Christian marriages are at 50%, and so. You just think about rationally. You're thinking about, okay, if I was in Vegas and I'm spending $200, that's a 50% chance I'm gonna win or lose. I'll take that gamble.
Yeah.
But in marriage, you're gambling with your family. You're gambling with your livelihood. You're gambling with whatever property, whatever money. You're gambling with all that, and you have to have a partner, that's in line with you, even if you come with everything ready.
Absolutely.
You can have a partner that's not in line and causes havoc. And so I see that as being risky, but at the same time, it's worth the risk for a successful marriage.
Absolutely.
It's worth it for something that's for eternity and that's going to work out and that you can build off of. And so it's a huge gamble that I think that men have to be ready for. Marriage is not for the weak.
No.
It's not for the weak. It's not for the
Nope.
it's not for the ambivalent. It's not for the double-minded. It's for you have to be of strong, broad shoulders and of be that priest, be that
Lord
protector,
Jesus.
be
Yeah.
that
Y'all hear
provider.
that? Who need
You
to hear
you
that?
have to have a
Motivator.
lot to be married, especially as a man.
Yes.
So the weak need not apply.
Not at all. Sit
I
down.
love that.
You can't
Sit
beat
down.
no sucker
You can't.
Sit down.
in that game.
You can't.
No, you
And so
shouldn't.
that's why
especially
I
today
passed
too. And I
that.
think today there's a lot more temptations that are
Oh,
out there.
man, they're left and right.
Than what you
Yeah.
guys even had before, because now we have the World Wide Web.
Yes.
Before
Which
you
is
just
from
had
hell.
Penthouse and Hustler magazines.
Right.
Now
right.
it's
Oh, okay.
now it's
Okay.
moving.
Okay.
Now it's
Now
like,
it's moving.
Right. Then you got to go to stores.
It's moving now.
You go to, you can go online, and I think
Free
it's
porn.
really,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really more difficult.
Yeah,
Because now it's like the Bible says, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. All that stuff now you can just get on the internet just at a click.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you
Yep.
could follow whatever it is that you want to see. So I think it makes it even more difficult today. And I think because we're a lot more selfish today too.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to, I
God.
think selfishness,
Yeah.
afraid to lose their money. Don't nobody want to split half.
Come on.
That's why people going in now with what they call them prenups.
Prenups.
Come on.
I want to keep my stuff. Nobody wants to be giving anymore in a relationship.
That's
Come on.
scary for a single person like me sitting here with around y'all married people talking like this around me. Because, no, that is a scary thought.
But you gotta commend them for being honest. That's
mean,
why we
that's-
love our show. Is
No,
real
I mean, I'm not.
honest to the core.
Yeah, that's real talk. But I'm hearing it, and I'm like, gosh, because I'm not married, so I'm
Right.
sitting here like, so when I get with somebody, I'm gonna be worried about my stuff. I mean, just something just so wrong with her whole list. I just don't agree with it.
And a woman wrote the article.
I
Yes.
know.
So
I-
that's
I
her.
don't- I
That's
don't
her
agree with that.
perspective.
Like, if you have to think about it like that before you do it, then don't do it. Don't
But
even
men
come
are
over
not.
here.
They're not doing it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They are looking at it like that, and they're
That's why
saying, "We
men
know what?
don't marry."
I'm not going to take that risk."
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a horrible thing. So
Yeah.
now I'm sitting here single, dealing with a man who's deciding, I don't even know if I want to do that. I don't even know if I want to do that. That's crazy to me.
That is. It
That
is.
marriage, because I was telling Lady Charmaine earlier, I was like, marriage is getting a bad deal right now. People are
is.
just kind of pushing to the side, like, you ain't got to do that now. I'm getting all I want. I ain't got to sign no paper.
It's true.
But then that gives that person the freedom to still do what they want to do.
Correct.
So I'm having a hard time with this topic. I want to fight her.
That is so true, though. And one thing that I noticed that she also mentioned, you can lose your family. Why would you lose your family when you get married unless the family had personal issues with the individual that you were marrying?
The whole thing she talking about is full of issues. That's an issue list.
But you can lose your family also, the one that you created with your spouse. If
Amen.
you divorce and they don't want you to
I
see
mean,
the kids,
true, things like that
the
do
breakup.
happen.
Amen.
And
But from the beginning, you should have seen that coming.
Not everybody
was
see
paying
it.
attention.
No.
You
I don't agree with that.
Because you wouldn't even marry that person or fall in love
if
with
you
them.
knew,
Fell in love
if
with
you
them.
knew, I don't think anybody goes into marriage thinking that it's not
People
going to work
change.
out.
Yep.
I don't think. I don't believe
Wouldn't
that.
do it.
I
Wouldn't
believe.
do
I
it.
believe if you knew they weren't going to work out before you got married, you'd be like, "Oh,
Let me be clear what I'm
out."
saying. Let me be clear what I'm saying. I'm not saying go into marriage you know it's not going to work out, but I'm saying can you date long enough?
You can, and then you can date long enough. You can date for years, but you
Because
get married.
people
That's
now
a
are-
different. It's a
Completely.
different energy.
Completely.
It's a different energy
Right.
now. You're not just dating and say you can end up being boyfriend, girlfriend, and walk out. It's like you in this
You
thing
in
now.
it. I
Like
get
and
that.
Cardi B
sometimes,
say
No, I get
forever.
that.
sometimes that changes
Right.
people though.
Oh, you know, okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Sometimes
let's
that
talk about
changes people.
Why
I can get
does
that. I can get
marriage
that. I can get
change
that.
people? Why is it when you make that full-on commitment, people change? Give us a call. If you want to chime in on the conversation, give us a call, 916-226-9226.
And what changes?
Correct.
I think sometimes it could be. I mean, I don't know. It's just different. It's just different. I guess.
Is it a bad different? Are you feeling like you having to change?
But there's good and bad. I think there's give and take in it, and sometimes maybe the creativity of the relationship, the newness of it. You know, when you're dating, you're thinking about different things to do together. When you're married, I think you're starting to build now, and it becomes more. Now, not just work, but you have to make an effort to have that fun. That's why they say, date nights and stuff. You won't date nights when you're dating. Every date was a date night when you were single.
Yeah.
Because that's just you're just going out doing your thing. But when you're married,
And Joe, my husband, he has a great point there because although the walks in the park gets less and less. Especially if the two people live in two different places. He live in his place, you live in your place, and you can't wait to see him. You got these long talks on the telephone.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the house now you're trying to build something.
Yeah.
Now, both of you going to work, you come home.
So
you
life
both are
pretty much
tired.
takes over.
well, life,
So life,
yeah,
because before,
kids.
yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because them little whiskey ways that my husband used to take me to the Monterey. And,
It's just not happening. So now you got to work
When
at
was the
that.
last time we saw Monterey
Sure.
Man? When was the last time we saw
on the
Carmel?
internet,
I used to have
Google.
my
Okay.
wedding ring made in
Yeah,
Carmel. When was the
yeah,
last-
yeah,
We got to go back and see our jeweler. He was great.
Yeah. but it's not a bad thing that you're building, but it
No, I get you.
takes that kind of effort.
Right. You're on live with Hot Topics with Lady Charmaine. What's your name? Where you're calling from? Oh, can you turn down your phone, your computer? Hello. Okay. Well, we heard you on the call, so if you can give us a call back, make sure you turn down your phone or your computer so we can make sure that we hear you. But and so those things I definitely believe become less and less when children get involved and you start, having babies that take up a lot of your
Yeah,
time as
my
well.
God.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
really trying to redeem that because my husband and I we used to do all kind of stuff. We used to go to San Francisco,
Seriously, used
walk
to.
by the beach. Last time we been to the beach, babe.
Right.
They used to.
Okay,
We used to go to
so
Santa
so
Cruz
that's
Beach
why you have to work
Boardwalk.
really hard at
Last
these
time we've been
things.
there. Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
for real.
Together little dates and
Well, that's
stuff.
why they say marriage. That's why they say marriage is hard because you have to intentionally be
Right.
making that effort on everything. You have to
Absolutely.
intentionally make an effort for the kids. Intentionally
Right.
make an effort for your spouse. Intentionally build and sacrifice some time. And sometimes that gets in the way of you being spontaneous.
But even that can be healthy. Even how you deal with
Yeah.
that can be healthy,
Because
right?
there's reward after that. There's a reward for building, working and putting things together and planning, and you come together and you've accomplished something. Now you got some things, to material whatever, or you've grown in a sense of going to school or getting your business going, or
everybody gotta line up.
everybody's
Understand
doing
that,
yeah,
yeah.
and it can't be one person doing it and one person on the
Right,
couch.
right,
Both
right,
of you
right,
have to
right,
be in
right,
step with that, and so it's. it takes effort. It takes effort, and but the reward is there.
Okay.
But there's also risk. So there's risk and reward. But in marriage, everything is so elevated that you can lose your house, you can lose your pension, you can lose your savings, you can lose everything that you worked your entire life to get.
If
If one person, man or male, female,
female, right.
they decide, I don't want this. And that's of their own will, free will.
That is a real fear.
Yeah.
That's
a real fear.
man, that's a fear.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
not that you lay awake at night.
Think about it, but I
but
get you,
it's
though.
like it's
No,
a
no, I get it.
possibility that
Yeah.
happens 50% of the time.
More than that sometimes.
All
So
by
if you want to chime in on this
myself.
conversation, give us a call 916-226-9222.
Don't wanna be.
And I just think that you gotta when the man proposes to a woman, he honors that woman by marrying her. It's not 9 times out of 10 you don't see the storybook and a man is dying to get married. It's the woman. So when a man says, he get rid of the ball and chain syndrome, and he really grows up and says, you know what, I do want to spend the rest of my life with this woman. She has all the qualities that I've been looking for in a woman. She threatened to go somewhere because most women ain't gonna wait because they're like, why am I wasting my time? I'm sifting through you to try to see if you're the right one,
Right.
and I'm wasting my time. So let me hurry up and move. So out of fear, sometimes you hurry up and marry that woman because you don't want her to go nowhere. And then sometimes you marry her because you feel like, oh my God, she was there for me at a time of like my wife. That was the pivotal moment why I chose to marry her, because she really stuck with me through a custody battle with my son that I was there. I mean, as far as the paperwork, and really was like stepping up as a young woman. I was, kind of like intrigued by that. Like, wow, look at you, this, and you're really and my family wasn't even rocking with me going to the custody battles, and she was right there, so. I was like, that was a pivotal moment where I said, okay, you have proved to me that that you birthed that section in my life, and I just feel like sometimes for a man it is really like the lady said, you do lose. Let's be honest. You do lose your sex. You're gonna lose sex. You're gonna lose because when that work comes in and you don't have, I guess, the variety of women that you get to choose from, it's gonna take a little bit more work. That's what they mean. Trying to be romantic and foreplay. That's what you hear in talk shows. We're having trouble after this long being in marriage. We're trying to have trouble getting to where we used to be because the infatuation is gone. The lust is gone. Now it's real life. And that love has to come into play in the bedroom. If you really love somebody, you have to make love to them, And so sometimes you don't feel like making love when resentment is being held, or somebody mad at you because they didn't take out the garbage, or they turning their back on you, and then when that leads to other things, then they mad and say, "Why did you cheat? Why did you cheat?" Because you never should go out of your marriage and break your vows. But at the same time, men and women do because of selfish measures, I don't think cheating has anything to do with the other person, because a man will cheat on you whether you're giving him sex every night. I think cheating has to do with the different, and this might sound odd, but it's ego. Sometimes when we get older, we feel like our wife ain't stroking our ego like they should. It's the different variety of vaginas. Like some vaginas are different. It's simple as that. Like wanting to feel.
Heard that.
That's it. It has nothing to do with love or being in love with this person, because we ain't gonna leave our wife for no trick or no side trick. This is, But when you get caught, then you deal with all those things put on you. Like, you did this, you broke this, and I mean not from your wife, from every single body. Because when you broke those vows as a man and you went outside your marriage, imagine if Obama did
collateral damage.
You getting
There's damage everywhere.
Exactly.
Shrapnel everywhere.
Exactly.
Right,
But you wasn't thinking about that when you was deliberately not having sex
Never
with your
do.
husband, when you
Never
was
do.
deliberately putting him down, when you was deliberately not supporting. What happened?
Yeah.
And then now you want to be the victim in your marriage because this man that went out because he couldn't take no more because he made a flesh. He ain't God and he ain't perfect. And so that's why I think women, a lot of times that's in my chair, I'll be completely honest with them. You're going to have to look at yourself. What are you doing in this situation to make this marriage arrive here? Arrive to the point, a breaking point. What are you doing as a woman? You are the pivot. You are everything in this relationship. It ain't us. You are everything. You're the woman for
everything. Got to be on her.
because think about it. You guys have the control to make or break the relationship. You hold all the girth in the relationship. Even though we're the man and all this, but a lot of times we think we the man, and really y'all doing both. And then think about.
So you put all that pressure on her.
Will y'all carry it any other time? Oh, I want to be the woman. I'm a superwoman. I'm power. I'm super. So
See, we need to call her right now.
Why not?
We need to call her.
Why not? I'm giving y'all props.
Put everything on our shoulders.
So-
when y'all
Yeah,
supposed
Ricky,
to be
that's why you ain't
protector,
married.
provider, all of that.
So Derek, we come into a fork in the road. I'm gonna have to go to the left.
I know. I was gonna lose.
I was rolling with you for a good little while.
I thought y'all was gonna be mad at me. I know y'all was
With
gonna be
everything
mad.
on our shoulders.
Woo!
Wow.
No, I think half of it could be them. There's another equal part that need to be contributing doing their part too.
Right,
Amen.
you're right. Not
You know
in
what
not
I'm
in that
saying?
sense. I just mean like a woman is every y'all can y'all can change our attitude if we come in the house with a nasty attitude or the world is so heavy on our shoulders instead of I need this, I want this, and you pick up on our attitude and then you jump in having an attitude. Why not say, what's wrong with my man? I know he had a hard day out there.
You know,
Let me
I'm
try to fix
listening to what
this.
you're saying, but see, people don't realize how much weight has been put on that wife.
Right, and you're right. Let me know.
It's so much weight that you putting on us because when you have kids, you got to take care of your kids. You got to take care of what they've been going through at school. All there's a who gonna take care of us?
We are.
No, you're not, because we got to take care of you.
No,
But
we
wait,
gonna take care-
wait.
What a
But
badass
I
dude. How
think
you gonna do that? The moment you
this.
walk in the house, I got to stroke your ego and make you feel
But
good.
without of the love, would you want to do that?
But see that this is where the 100 come in. It's not a 50-50 deal.
Come on, 100 and 100.
So there may be times when I need my ego stroke, and you may just have to do that for me.
Right.
I may have to do that for
Sacrifice.
you.
I get
and
that.
so it
I'm
can't
all
be
about 100, 100.
Yeah, it can't be like well this is your job, and I think we
I'm
both
all about that.
We both have shoulders that bear a
Right.
lot of weight.
Exactly.
And so that's why it's so difficult,
Right.
because we both are in need and we both got to give sacrificially. And it's like, even
How
when
did
you
you
don't
meet in
feel
the
like
middle?
it.
And
Yep,
it's hard
yep.
for a woman when you come home, everybody's head is in your lap.
Yeah.
The kids, your husbands, and who are you going to lay down at? Then you want to know why she probably running out. Because she want to lay her head in somebody's lap too.
But you know what though?
better think about that.
What Derek was saying though, as far as
Who head she going to lay in?
Her mama.
She got to go to Jesus.
Or her daddy, or her auntie.
She got to go to Jesus.
but see that's where that sacrifice
All the
comes in
hairstyle.
though, because there's gonna be some heads laying somewhere.
You're right.
You're right. You're right.
So
You're right.
that head gonna lay down somewhere, and you want that to be in the comfort of your home, and with love and attention and
Absolutely.
affection, and that, like I said, it that makes it difficult for today.
Right.
Wow, I mean, like my wife was saying, as far as the internet, and they got Tinder and they got all kind of stuff now.
Yeah.
You can just stroke, have all
Swipe,
kind of
swipe.
conversations, and things to be going on, and it's you, like I said, it's not for the weak.
No,
it's not for the weak. Don't get married if you questioning, if you in doubt. Oh man, you take your time.
Yeah, don't do it
And
then.
because you need to be committed. You need to say, you know what? There are going to be the good days and bad days
Right.
and all that other stuff in between. I am committed. Marriage starts with a commitment.
But
And
you
if
have
don't
to
have
go
that,
into marriage
brother.
knowing there's going to be good days and bad
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
If you,
you do.
go in while you're sitting
Not
and
the fairy
you get
tale.
married in
Yep.
your honeymoon stage
Yep.
in your mind. I was talking to a young lady recently, and she's been married 13 years. And she was just sharing with me, she said maybe she probably should have waited longer before she got married because she did not know that her husband was an alcoholic. She didn't realize that his kids had been taken away, that they had been in foster care. So I said, well, how long did you guys date until you got married? She said 2 months.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there, there's some
Point
information.
Just
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
my thing is, don't get married in the honeymoon stage.
Right, right.
And I never forget.
Give it a minute.
Wait till your Prince Charming turn into a frog, and then see if you still
'Cause
want to
it
marry
won't
him.
happen.
Because he will change
Yep.
in that marriage,
Yep.
and so will you.
Yeah.
And so you want to be able to see the good, the bad, the ugly, and then be able to say, "I'm gonna say I do to all of
all
that."
of it, all of
That's
it.
right.
If you
all of
just
it.
say I do to Mr. Perfect, and then all of a sudden when
Yep.
that sheet drop, and you find out that he's not, then
Right.
you're going to be devastated.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
make sure that if you decide that you want to marry, make sure you've seen all the ugly stuff. Make sure you guys have gone through some arguments and was able to work it out. You know, if you've never had an argument, I know I met a couple. They said their first argument was on their wedding night, and they weren't sure if they were going to be able to stay married because they had never had an argument before.
I mean, I've heard stories of people getting arguments because one person was raised to open the juice one at a time, and the husband was raised to open whatever he wanted to when he was thirsty. And they would get in a fight over that.
You're right.
Toothpaste, you squeeze it to the top,
Yeah.
or you leave it to,
See, that's the small stuff.
you know. But at the same time, you have to know if you can deal with that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. You do.
You have to
You
know
do.
if you have
do.
the skin to be able to not go, I will punch. You know what? I'm
Yeah.
gonna get your own toothpaste. How about that?
Absolutely.
We just gonna have our own
Yeah.
toothpastes
And,
because
That'd
and
be
no,
a petty.
people don't realize. Let me tell you something. People don't realize. I remember when we were doing marriage counseling, and those are some of the points that I would hit on in marriage counseling because those are the things that people don't realize. When you are bringing two people together, you are bringing two different household
Households
perspectives
together.
together.
That's
Y'all
it,
was
yeah.
not raised together.
And people do not look at that. People
Yep.
just look, oh, we're going to get married. But then when you are blending everything together, how
Yep.
you were brought up, how you was raised,
Yep.
like you was talking about the toothpaste. Because I know I will wash everything in the house. I love washing. I will wash clothes all day. Folding is a whole nother story.
Yeah, she'll live out a basket.
Okay.
Ain't nobody got time to be folded. I ain't got time to be folded. Let me just go through and find what I need.
Okay.
But my husband likes to fold.
Yeah.
So, we've been married 20 years. So, for the past 19 and a half years, we figured that out. I'll wash, he folds.
See?
It's
And
not-
put away.
Dream work.
And put away.
Awesome.
So it's not an argument.
Awesome.
I'm a type of person, even when I was in management, I like to find out what your strength is, what your weakness is, and you try to balance that.
That's
You know what I
smart.
mean?
That's
So instead of us
excellent.
always
That's
arguing
smart.
over
That's
it,
excellent.
his strength is folding. My strength is
Excellent.
washing. And that's just how we work that out. And so just like and that's how we run our household as well. And so we were talking about 100, he's good at what he does, I'm good at what I do, and we just make it happen.
That's excellent. That's a great compliment.
Okay, you brought my faith back in.
No,
And
it was
but if
kinda
you have
worried
those
for a minute.
And if you start having those conversations early,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? How you fold clothes. My husband and I, we fold clothes differently. He folded clothes a certain way. I was taught folding a certain way, and so you gotta
And
you
that's
gotta be
real
able to
behavior.
you gotta be
Yeah.
able to pick your battles.
Yeah.
How you put canned goods in a cabinet.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you
It's
sit
simple
your cups up or down in the cabinet?
You know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
yep, glasses
People don't
upside
they don't
down.
even talk about some of that stuff, but some of that stuff can get on
Fight.
people's nerves and cause people to have
Right.
arguments and even want to separate over
Yeah,
the foolish
yeah,
things.
absolutely.
Because everybody talking about what their mama taught them.
Right,
Well,
right.
my mama taught me. My husband tried to bring that to the house.
And they ain't always right. The mamas ain't meant to teach you
he was
always
bringing
right.
home some of the things his mama taught
And see,
him.
I grew up with both my parents, so
Yeah.
I seen
Right.
a style of marriage, not
Correct.
not
Right.
necessarily not necessarily was right or wrong. I just seen a style
right.
that to me, I said, okay, that's a
Mimic
that's
that.
They
that's
still
a,
together,
that's a
but
marriage.
work, right?
And so they had some things, so I know. But in my marriage, it's a lot different than my
Right.
parents'
Yes.
marriage. So I came into it with one perspective, but I'm in it now thinking that ain't gonna work for my marriage.
Right, that's
Because if I
right.
would have had that, if I would have kept that way, that this is how it got to be, we probably wouldn't be married today.
course not.
Because she's that she's a different woman than my
Right.
mom.
Absolutely.
You know,
he was
she's
raised
your
in a,
mom.
he was raised in a 2-parent household. I was raised by a single mom. And so when you come in with a
Those are
single
big-
mentality
those are
and
big
you come in
dramatic
with somebody that had
changes,
two
yeah.
parents, I had never seen that before. So he had certain expectations that I was like, I wouldn't do it. I ain't your mama. You know,
I ain't your mama, and I don't know him either.
I ain't your mama. I ain't your mama. so it was a totally different mentality. So, it's things that you definitely have to work through. But if you want to chime in on this topic, give us a call. 916-226-9226. We definitely want to hear from you. Now, here is another question that was posed on Facebook, and here's a question. If your man met a woman while he was out somewhere, and after holding a short conversation with her, he proceeded to ask and take her phone number because he enjoyed talking to her, do you consider that cheating?
yes,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Why is that cheating?
because you wouldn't ask for a phone number if you were with your wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you wouldn't tell her. So withholding information is the same thing as lying. If she asked you about, or you just offered, guess what, honey? You offering everything else. I got a number from a woman today because she was kind. What you
I
think she
think
gonna
you would
say?
like her. Now you friend scout for me.
Yeah. What?
She was kind.
What?
Yeah,
She was very nice.
yeah,
She was very nice. She was very sweet. She was very kind.
He's very kind.
Right.
I enjoyed talking to her
She
so
was-
much.
Yeah, she reminded me of you.
Oh, so insult me. Oh, so now you just punched me in my face.
Uh-oh.
Now you just punched me. So you hitting me now? You just gonna hit me.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Oh, so you got a type.
And I think you ought to meet her.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
in
yeah.
fact, I met her for you. What?
Not
that's
going
funny.
down.
But you know, I have a newfound respect for those kind of interactions because there's a such thing called emotional, cheating.
Yeah.
And you can build. You're opening the door to that. I wasn't aware of that. Those conversations and stuff you do, all kind of behind the scenes, even though you're not physically, you may not even be at that point mentally, but it can lead there with that conversation.
window has opened.
Absolutely.
And so I had to understand that. Okay, yeah, talking, but then where's this going? And what the motives are,
The
and
potential is
with the
too high for it to
potential,
go
yeah.
somewhere.
Now your marriage is already, you got to give 100%. Now you're not giving 100. You might be giving 95.
Because you on a computer
And
that's at
it's-
5%.
yeah,
or
and
on
so
the
that
phone or
95 go
talking.
down to 90,
Yeah.
and maybe it may not be so drastic. You ain't out the house, but if you not giving 100, now you down to 70 after a little while.
Yep.
Now let me ask you a question.
That part.
How much do you think social media now has to play in that? Because social media is making it very easy for people to hook up with exes.
Oh, yeah.
Or, or just
Yeah,
hook
yeah.
up
it
with
goes down
people.
all the
Yeah,
time.
it's-
Going down in the DMs.
It's more of a
Yeah.
threat than to the marriage than a compliment. I think social media.
Now you guys know I love talking with people, right? Because I get hot topics from people all the time. And I was just talking to a gentleman just recently, and I was talking to him about. I said, "Are you on Facebook?" And they was like, "No, I don't do Facebook. I don't be on all that." And I said, "Oh," I said, "You got caught cheating on social media?" 'Cause
Right.
When somebody tells me that,
Right.
it lets me know
They-
you got caught. Then it was like,
yeah,
no,
they on punishment.
Well, it wasn't like that. No, I didn't get caught cheating on Facebook. And then he said it was on Instagram.
Well, he did say social media. He didn't say
DMing.
Facebook. He said
that
social
DMing.
media.
Wait a minute. Then he said it wasn't that serious. We were just talking, but but my girl thought I was on there cheating, but
Yeah.
it was starting.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
it.
and I get that
That's
a lot
it.
from men. And that was the second gentleman I was talking to, because the first gentleman, he told me the same thing. I'm not on social media. And I was like, why you got caught cheating? He was like, yep. And him and his wife ended up getting a divorce. So when I hear that from a man, oh, no, I ain't on all that. Yeah, I bet.
Talking goes a
This is
long
what
way.
it
That's
does.
how it starts.
Everything
it
starts.
starts.
Everything starts by conversation.
Conversation.
Yeah, conversation is the
Conversation.
thing, you know.
Everything
That's
That's
how
why
you
you
doing?
can't
starts by
treat it
conversation.
sometimes.
You know,
gotta
some women
when
are
it's
tricky.
over.
You get a good morning every morning in your DM, just a simple good morning every morning. That's it. You
Hi.
start like that. Hi. Don't hear from them for 2 days. Another high pop up. Hey.
And now you got
And they're
you can
fishing.
live
Now your brain's going.
streams and
Personal little live streams and all those things. So
Yeah.
you really got to be careful.
Yep.
So it's real difficult. Now, Marie, you had a question. She had
I
posed a question to
do.
me earlier. Tell me what that is.
Okay, I have a question. Okay, so I'm gonna set it up. So I was talking to a person and we were having this discussion, and it turned into, okay, let me see. It turned into how important, or how important is it for you when you were courting your wife, and when you were courting your wife, how important was it for you to stay in contact? Did you contact them on a daily basis? Were you connected at all times when you knew that this person was the person, and you decided? Did you talk to them all the time? Did you do check-ins often, like every day? Did you talk to them every day? Because the discussion was with this person, like they were saying, well, I feel this certain kind of way, and I want to be in a relationship, and I'm tired of being alone. I'm trying to make it work, but the only time you are connected is when you come to get that dinner and that lay down time. But then when they disappear, they're gone for 2 and 3 weeks. But yet they're trying to have this relationship. So how important was it for you when you met Lady Charmaine? Did you talk to her every day?
I want to say this. I think I pursued her more than she wanted to be pursued at the time. So I proposed to her wanting to get married. Like, let's do this. You the one. I was convinced. But she was like, no, I'm not ready yet. Give me 10 years.
Oh, 10. That's a big number.
Dang, that was a long
Look, you
time.
said 10.
I said, I thought that was a shot. I thought she was letting me down easy by saying like, you're not the
bruh,
one for
no,
me,
right.
but we can hang out for 10 years. And I was like, I was gonna disappoint.
You got a little crushed a little
I was a
bit,
little
right?
disappointed. So I was like, okay, 5.
Exactly.
So we got the
Like,
negotiation
We did.
because she was so busy. But Charmaine was a woman that, again, she wasn't looking for marriage. She was content on her own. She was taking herself out. She was independent, and she had that mindset, a single mentality, and she was happy single in church, loving God, teaching Sunday school, just going about her business. Then I should show up.
Right.
I just interrupt, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
all of a sudden, but I had to insert myself into her life. And that wasn't easy because she already had everything programmed as far as what she would do on a
Right.
daily basis. So I was the one like, you have a day off on this day. Well, no, I got this going on. Well, how about this day? Friday? No, I got this going
I
on.
got stuff.
How
I
about
got
this? Well, I got
stuff.
Bible study. And I'm like, and then the day that we had in common, that was I think it was a Wednesday night. I would hang out with my boys every Wednesday. We'd go play pool and hang out.
had
She
to
said,
make a decision.
and she said, Wednesday's open.
You was like,
Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Tell them how long you had to wait for your first
Yeah.
date.
It was like the boom. You say boomerang.
Oh,
it was
my
like
God.
can we go on Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. She was like, how about all the way at the bottom of the calendar?
It took
It took like 3 weeks.
wow.
And so I'm like,
3 weeks a Wednesday.
so she really, if I wasn't very persistent, she would have been like, she don't want me.
Yeah,
She
you
ain't gonna
would've
get
gave
married. I didn't have that marriage. I didn't think I would marry her right away, but I knew I wanted to be spend more time with her.
Well, did you
And
know how to date him because you was, or was that just avoidance, or you just didn't know how to date because you was so busy?
I was so happy being single.
She was fine
See,
with herself.
my mom was a happy single person. And one thing my mom taught me was how to be single and alone, not lonely. And lonely is dangerous. And you have a lot of women who are lonely. And my mother taught me from a young age, Charmaine, don't you bring home just anything. She used to always tell me that. And she used to always tell me, as a little girl, there's a difference between being single and alone and being lonely.
Yeah, it is.
So
It
I
is.
had learned how to be single and alone and happy. So my mother didn't have a bunch of men running in and out of my house and stuff like that. So I was very content. I was very content being single.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I was very happy. I wasn't,
So
jumping
you
in
wasn't
nobody's
praying for a
bedroom.
man or nothing like, like if
At that moment, I wasn't praying. No, honestly, at that moment, I was not praying. That's why when I met my husband, I would have missed him because he was such a nice guy. I was like, you know what? I would love for you to be a groomsman in my wedding one day. That's what I said to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
He did know he was
She
going to
did.
co-star.
She did. I got the straight. Hey, straight arm. I was like,
Yeah.
she
He
had to do some
gave me the
walking.
Heisman.
He needs some
She
milk.
was like, she
He
gave me the
needs some
Heisman.
milk.
And so I was like, okay, then we just worked on our friendship. I just had everything
Which
from
is-
a
that's how it's
friendship
supposed to
because
be
Correct.
that's all I saw for a little while. But then I got little hints that she was liking me a little bit. And so that little hint kept me
Break
kept me
down your
there.
walls.
Because
Break
if she
down.
kept like that, then I'll be like, okay, I
Chipping,
guess this ain't
chipping.
working out.
But you know what? I think
Yeah.
the greatest thing in the world that a lot of people don't even probably believe in anymore is a man coming for a woman because the
Right.
roles have changed. And I have played that end of the stick, the coming for the man and all that kind of thing, and I'm tired of that. So now I'm learning over here, but when you're learning who you are and you're happy not being lonely and all the different type of things, it puts you in a whole different category. But I think this time has turned into where women are taking that from the man. Shoot, even animals get it. He'll peacock a dance in front of a lady to give her a choice. You know what I'm saying? But us women, we're taking that away from the man right now. You know what I'm saying? I told a girl one time, she was like, with this guy, and she's like, she messed with him until he moved in with her. I said, he'll move in with you. Of course he'll take that, but he don't respect you because he didn't choose you. And I think that's a big deal for me. And I'm learning that more and more, that you have to put yourself in a position to be chosen. Like, you can't take that away from a man. He has to have that ability to do that.
Yeah. And don't you want to be chosen as a woman?
But I have a
Exactly.
question though, and I know both of you guys are married, and both of you guys been married for 19 and 20 years. But why do you think, in men, if you are watching right now, give us a call. I see you guys are watching. I want to know, why don't men today really go after women? Is it because there's so many women to one man that they don't need to, or because women are now bolder now and they see what they want? Girl, go and get him, girl, and if that's what you want, go after him. So men don't have to put in any work. I want to know. Why don't men today really go after a woman that they see that they're interested in? If they
That's
see
a
her,
good question.
I want to know, because you have so many women out there for the taking, but some men don't feel like they have to put in the work anymore because women are doing the work now. Is that it?
They
I
got
don't
options.
know.
Period. It's options.
So they don't have
It's
to.
1 to 99. So you are getting men that are laying back and getting chosen now. It's
It's
not
an
the women
interesting
anymore.
dynamic,
It's
right?
it's the women that's going above and beyond to present themselves to a man to where they'll say, yeah, you all right, I'll deal with you for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not
How
gonna
you
make you.
said it.
I mean,
you
to
know.
the point to where women are proposing to men.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And then if
absolutely.
you, and I
Yep.
want a woman, if you went after your man because you saw what you wanted, girl, that's what I want, and I brought him, I want to know, when you got your heart broke, did he say something to you to say, because it was out of order? I didn't chase after you, you chased after me. I'm just curious.
It's a real thing. In the dynamic you're talking about is real, because being that I'm single and every once in a
Right.
while I'll go out to the clubs or whatever, and to watch a bunch of stack of women stand over here and a stack of men stand over here and everybody just looking at each other.
Wow.
It's weird. The women dance with each other. The men aren't even dancing with the women. They walk past you. I don't know, Lady Sherman, that's a good question, because that dynamic is real.
Right. And it really is, especially if you're single out there and you're watching. Give us a call, 916-226-9226. I'm just curious. I'm glad I'm not on the dating scene, because I wouldn't even know how to date. Ain't nobody going to like
It's
me.
ugly right now. No, you'll be by yourself. I mean, with me
Standards too
changing up
high.
the way I'm navigating, you by yourself.
But I think it goes back to our first question, and I agree with Derek, is that the variety is out there for a man to choose without any risk of really let down or rejection.
Absolutely.
Or really failing, because you can cast your net and you might grab 2 or 3 that are willing to put up with whatever you willing to offer because they so desperate.
Absolutely.
And so you ain't got to be you ain't got to be your best self to get 2 or 3 women on your side. You can just you just be any old ordinary, you know what I'm saying? Because you got and they can do that for a long period of time, because women now are not giving you demands on necessarily moving forward in a relationship. They okay with just having somebody to go out with occasionally and give you a call, and so you can play that role for a long time and just not have the pressure of marriage necessarily.
There are women who are also living in that dynamic. Let me tell you that too. Just like a man functions in that brain mindset, there are women who also have that mindset. So there are women out there who are like, I ain't trying to be with you like that either, bruh.
And see that,
got their little harem.
That extends it.
And got their little whatever, and in control of that harem, and can run that harem the way she wants to. There are those type of women out there too.
And see, that type of woman meets that type of man, ain't no long-term commitment even in the discussion. You just go. That's just how you operate, and I think you got more of that.
I have you for this moment. You're there for this moment. You're for this moment. There are women out there who are operating just like that too, and getting what they need out of that harem.
But that's out of hurt though, because every woman, I think, every woman wants to be married or either in a relationship.
But see, and I think women they may be in that relationship out of hurt and out of a sense of if I don't have this, I may not have anything at all, and so they'll take a little bit of what they can get, maybe, to say, you know what,
that could be a factor.
Yeah,
is that out of her insecurity?
It could be
it's out of a whole lot of things, broken places. Because I mean, I can speak about that as far as making those decisions, because that person, in that moment, you're like, okay, I want to experience this person for a minute. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope this stays forever, but I know it's not. And you get comfortable in that dysfunction. Mm-hmm. And you start living out of that dysfunction, making choices out of that dysfunction. Mm-hmm. And when you get used to that, you just get used to that rotation.
Interesting.
And if you don't check yourself or get to a place where it gets so bad that you question yourself, like you said, you say to some women, you check yourself real quick. Yeah. Because the reason that this ain't working might lie in you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when women make those kind of choices, it does. Because we're functioning out of a hurt and pain somewhere. It could be as deep as molestation a long time ago, or getting hurt by so many different men, or the daddy situation, or whatever.
Or not even just loving yourself.
Or just not loving yourself because of something. It's something that makes you choose and pick that direction. Yeah. And if you work on that, you might see a new sun. And
ladies, show a man how to love you. Simple as that. When he's doing something wrong, say, no, I don't like to be touched like that. Can you do this? Like, eventually, you won't have to tell him anymore. And I know it's a catch-22. Like, well, I got to tell him how to love. He should just know. No, a lot of us don't. Because we don't. Who's teaching us?
Right.
Well, let me tell you something why that would be so difficult. If you get a woman who don't know who she is and don't know what she wants, how can she tell you?
She can't.
Come
if
on
she's still learning who she is and she doesn't know. You have a lot of women today who still are having an identity crisis.
Right.
And you have a lot of women out there, they having such an identity crisis that they're settling for married men because they feel that that's the only man they can get.
Wow.
And they feel it's cool. They flaunt that. Girl, he loves me. No, he don't love you. He lusts you. And so if she doesn't know who she is, how can she tell you? If she doesn't know what she likes, she can't even tell you what she likes. No. She don't know if she like blue, red, or purple shoes. She was, I just don't know. And so that's why when she's confused and she doesn't know, you can't please her and really appreciate her the way she needs to be appreciated, because she doesn't first appreciate herself. And a lot of times women need to be able to take that time out, fasting from dating, fasting from men, and find out who you are and what it is that you like, so you can finally tell someone what it is that you like.
And it's a serious route. You got to be ready for it.
You
got to be ready for it as a woman too.
And you know what you like when you see it, because now you know.
Right.
And you spend some time with yourself.
And then therefore you know what you want and what you don't want. See, when my husband came, I was in that discovery process for myself. I had journals of what I wanted, what I didn't want it. So I was in that whole discovery process. I really wasn't looking for anybody because I couldn't tell nobody what I wanted. I had no idea. You know, you have some women today, their self-esteem has been beat down. You've had some men that physically abuse them, verbally abuse them, treated them any kind of way, told them they loved them, then kicked them to the side. So they really do not know. So women are coming with a bunch of baggage. Yeah. And I think women today, you need to lay aside that baggage. Men do too. But women, you need to lay down and bag, start unpacking all of that stuff.
Ma'am.
Unpack every single bag.
Wow, that's good.
and
You
get
have
down to
to.
that core, and then so you can rebuild yourself back up so you can know what it is you want.
That's good.
You have to.
That's
You
good.
have to deal with those issues. And it ain't fun, it's not easy, but to be able to have the freedom to make clearer and better decisions about your life and be in control of your emotions and not let somebody else be in control of those emotions. Because I mean, I've had issues where just waiting on a phone call. That's too much control a person should have over you. Simply because of the issues that you have so deep inside that you may have forgotten about or just pushed down so far, and then it makes you make those jacked up decisions. You have to unpack those bags. You have to, because if you don't, you're gonna still keep picking Jim. Jim
Right.
just ain't never gonna go away. Jim gonna be dressed up different each and every time he come.
There you go.
Jim might be a different race when
There
he
you
come,
go.
but it's still that Jim.
Well, how do you unpack the bags as a woman?
You have to go in there, bro. You got to go
You
in
do.
there and pull up that stuff.
Gotta
Because
hurt.
some women are where they are because they have been hurt for so long.
Right.
And they're dragging those relationship bags into the next one, and they're wondering what's going on. Well, you haven't released or let go or healed from something you were hurt from before. So it creates this energy. And if you don't deal with that, you'll keep dragging it on to any relationship.
'Cause I kept picking
even
the same
outside
guy.
of men.
Right, she's
Friends,
right.
you know, girlfriends, all kind of people, it crosses the line. And it's a real behavior. You know, and like we were saying earlier, maybe it's a trauma, or maybe it's a, you know what I'm saying, something that just kept happening to you, that you set up a wall of defense with that stuff behind it. So now you can't even do nothing anymore
Wow.
because you got that wall blocking everything because you believe it.
Wow.
You know what, Marie? I
Yeah,
shared this
that's
with my
good,
daughter.
Marie.
I shared this with
That's
my
good.
daughter the other day. And I told her, I said, I could tell the kind of woman a woman is by the type of man she picks. Show me her man, and I could show you who she is. And I could tell that just by, because I remember when a lot of people had issues with Whitney Houston and
That's
Bobby
deep.
Brown back in the day. And I never forget, I told somebody, I said, no. I said, Bobby is just an extension of who Whitney is on the inside.
And people didn't want to believe
And-
it.
and-
Nobody wants to believe
That's
that.
all.
They didn't wanna
He's
believe
just
it.
an extension
Nobody
of who she
wanted
is
to
on the
believe that.
inside.
Nobody
That's
wanted
it.
to believe it.
And nobody wanted to believe that. And show me your man, and I probably can show you you. And so that's why when I met my husband, I was taking myself out to eat. I was going to San Francisco, dinner at the Equinox, treating myself. Because how can I tell you how to treat me and tell you what restaurants I want to go to? And I have no idea. And I haven't treated myself that way. So forget me looking for a man to treat me a certain type of way. I had to start treating myself the way I wanted to be treated.
Yeah.
And a lot of women put all these expectations on a man on how he should treat her. But have you done that for yourself?
And let me tell you something. When I first
That's
took myself out,
That's
it
good.
was hard. It was, and I was tripping off how hard it was for me to take myself out to eat by myself. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, I can't spend time with me. Why am I having a hard time taking me to go hang with me? It was weird. So, you know what I'm saying? So what you're saying is a real thing, you know, and if you're a woman that's not comfortable in going and hanging out, having you a little drink and having you, and you were doing what you're doing, but you're waiting on a man to make that happen for you. Oh my God.
Wow. That's
And you'll be surprised, because this is what I found out with my husband. You'll find a man, he'll watch how you treat you, and then that's how he'll treat you.
There it is.
Because I'll never forget, because my husband and I, we were co-workers, and I had booked myself a hotel room. Where was that? Sir Francis Drake in San Francisco. And so my husband asked me, can he drive me up there? We were co-workers, and at the time I had gotten a car accident, so I was going to get on the bus in the bar with my suitcase. And so it was like, you mind? We wasn't dating or anything. We was co-workers. He said, you mind if I take you up there? He said, I ain't never met a woman talk about she going to stay with Jesus, right?
yeah, that's it.
So he walked us up to my room, and he looked around. He was like, you really staying in this room by yourself? And I was like, yes. And I had a good time. I had my dinner reservations, and I went, I think, over to Bloomingdale's.
And I
bought
left
me
you
some
there,
perfume.
too.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
left
sing
me
around.
there.
that was her thing.
And then, and then it was a trip. My husband ended up calling me, and he was like, do you mind if I end out your weekend by taking you to Monterey? So he drove back up to San Francisco and picked me up and took me to Monterey.
Oh, that was
He was at home like,
nice.
okay, I gotta come with something, because that hotel room was
Right,
popping.
right.
So I need to.
Did you ever think in the back of your mind, like, man, do she got somebody else up? Because why she
I
wanna be alone
I
and-
always thought, because that's I couldn't believe when I asked her if she
It
was
just has to
dating with
be
somebody.
right here.
She told me no. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that she was actually by herself.
Enjoying herself.
No boyfriend, nobody on the side.
It's
No,
extravagant.
and so for me, I was shocked. because normally people have somebody they
right.
doing, but she was completely single, and I think you need to be completely single if you're going to enter into a relationship.
Absolutely.
And so even though we weren't we were just still getting to know each other, she was completely single, and I haven't met people that were like that all the time.
Wow.
And so that,
Like
that
just
was
nobody
great.
tagged into
Yeah,
you.
just nobody's like.
Sometimes.
But now people wanted to,
Yeah.
but she was the one putting up the because
Just
I remember
nobody
the first time I went to her church. Dudes were hating on me, even though we weren't sitting together.
They're
You
like,
know,
"Oh, he
they
got
was
it."
like,
He was like, he
it
got
was
it.
like the rumor. And then I became,
trying, nigga.
I gotta
I mean,
ask
there was
him
all
who
kind of
did.
dudes
I
at
gotta
church
ask him.
wanting to get to her.
It was I had people buying me my favorite perfume and getting me
They was-
magazine
yeah,
subscriptions.
uh-huh.
I was getting homemade apple pies made, and
They was coming
humble
hard.
pie
Coming
and
hard.
stuff. And I just
Wow.
I wasn't interested.
You were sought after.
Right, I just wasn't interested.
Would you
know,
take the gifts?
I took the gift.
Apple pie was real good.
Women, I
Well, wish I
swear.
had been.
Yeah,
Wish I had been a friend. I shared it with you. I'm like, girl,
I
who got
found
your
out when
pie?
I was dating my husband, he was like, so you still got that perfume I bought you? I was like, I do, and thank you so much.
Hey, you gave it to me. You gave it to
A
me.
gift is a gift.
Yeah,
Okay, that part.
yeah.
Don't give me no gifts with no strings attached.
Okay.
Now that I had that perfume and I wore it all out.
Yeah.
I
You
did.
did.
And thank you for the magazine subscription. Thank you for the
Oh,
apple
thank
pie.
I mean, they were coming. They
the
were
hat.
coming. They were coming all
Thank you
out.
for the Bible scriptures.
That's
Wait a
how you
minute.
get them.
And then my friends would tell me that guys would come to them and say, how can I talk to Charmaine? And well, what's the best advice you can give me? And they would tell me, they would say the best advice would be don't.
No, don't ever straight
Not
face it.
getting
Just
in.
leave it. Back
Right.
up.
I just wasn't interested. My focus. That's why I almost missed my husband. So when I say I was single for real. I wasn't
Yeah.
single and looking, single and dipping.
Yeah.
Nah, I was single for real.
And like I said, she said 10 years. I said 5. We settled on 3 years as a
Okay, so y'all worked
compromise.
together,
So
just-
we were
okay,
engaged
okay.
for 3 years before
Okay.
we got married. And
How
so
long engagement?
so that was the compromise that I kind of worked it down to, because
Exactly.
I wanted to get married. But I'm glad we did the 3 years, because in those 3 years we had some drama. It was just a lot of stuff. I wasn't used to stuff. She wasn't. So we had to get a chance to know each other, fill each other out, and that 3 years was a testing. It really was. We didn't
See,
make
it's
it.
important, right?
Yeah.
I
Still
know I'm
decided
not
to walk
crazy.
down
That's
the
why
aisle.
I be pushing.
You
Like,
still did.
wait a minute, just give it a minute, because that person's going the first 2 months.
Oh yeah, it got to the point where I was like, "You still want to get married?"
You're like, hold on.
And we were
Still like
there.
me?
You
Still like
still,
me? It was questionable,
we were like,
you know
we
what
still
I'm
want to do
saying?
this.
No,
still like
no.
So I gave her that out. I mean, we had to give each other. Okay, after all we've been through, are
Yeah.
you still
You still
want to
wanna
do
do
this?
this? That's
I
right.
mean, because we were, that's just what it was. That was real.
Yeah,
So
And I think for me, I took marriage very seriously.
absolutely.
I knew once I said I do, I did, and it's done. So I wasn't going in just, marriage was very serious. And I understood that you're going to be getting into arguments and you got to try to work through that stuff. So it was like, was I willing to do that? Because a relationship takes a lot of work. And I needed to know, was I willing to put in the work? I didn't go in there blindsided like, oh my God, I just had no idea. No, I had all the ideas. So I knew. You know what I'm saying? And so I knew this is going to be some work.
Yeah.
And do I really want to work through all that stuff? Do I want to, do all the kissing and making up? I
Those
don't know if I
questions
wanna
are
do that.
important
They
because
are.
they might be no
Are
for
you
a lot of
willing
people.
to put in
know?
the work?
And-
Because
and-
I know I could be a trip.
And so Charmaine, what I wasn't used to, and she's definitely improved on this. We haven't had this in a while, but I wasn't used to somebody getting in an argument with me and just walking out and closing, slamming the door and just be
Whatever.
going, and we can go and be like, "How you in my place? You gonna step out and slam my door and just be gone? Gee, peace." I'm like, I'm sitting there on the couch just
And
sitting.
had the last word.
Yeah, last
Out.
word.
And
everything
had the
out.
last
And I
word.
was slamming that
And
door
she
so
was
hard, the
slamming
window was
doors, and boom, it was just like,
That's
it just walked out. And I would
hilarious.
take that. That was when we were dating. I was like, I can't believe she just walked out.
And where that came from was because I felt I don't have to put up with all this stuff. I just, you know what I mean?
I don't got to.
Me arguing and working through stuff was unnecessary to me.
I mean, why?
Right.
You would
I
just
can
run.
take myself out.
She'd
to
be
eat.
gone. Be gone.
And how long would it take her to come back?
I mean, it just, I don't know. Sometimes it
I
be.
don't know.
There was a time, I don't know if I heard from her that day. She was gone.
Really?
Just gone.
Yeah,
She let you
I had
sit
to
in
calm
it. She had to
down.
pull
There's,
a few,
because
yeah.
working through a relationship is a lot of work.
And so for me,
Calm down.
I'm thinking of all kind of things. I'm thinking maybe she don't want to get married. Maybe she just that was it. Maybe we done.
Exactly.
I'm
That's
thinking
Aquarius
we
mind.
done. I'm
Right,
just
yep, it's
okay.
just running. running.
And so her longest relationship. Tell him your longest relationship before me.
Oh, they were all about 3 months.
Really?
I have a short tolerance for BS. It's very short. It's very
3 months.
The view is quick.
very
It's a quick
short.
bomb.
Playing.
She wasn't.
No,
She was no
It's
joke.
very my tolerance for that is very short. So especially stuff.
And you
that-
would cut it off with them?
Yeah, especially things that's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing
The
stupid
petty.
stuff,
You don't like the
there should be
petty.
a maturity, and I just don't have time to be somebody mama to work through to have you give me all your bogus excuses of why. So I had a problem with that, and it was. And so I even tried to break it off with my husband after 3 months. I tried, God knows I did, but he wouldn't. He ain't go.
He's like, I
held
ain't gonna
on.
let you go.
He was holding on.
See, that's what I'm
He had
saying.
your
That's
ankle
fair.
bone.
Like,
He
not gonna
had your ankle bone while you was
No.
driving.
See, slamming-
I worked hard for you.
Slamming doors and stuff like. Where you going?
I tried to shake you. When he was,
I don't know why you doing that, because I'm going to call you in a minute.
Exactly.
But I'm
you gonna
glad,
slam
I'm
some
glad
more
he held on,
nose.
though. I'm glad he held
But that's
on.
part of it.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah,
that's another
absolutely.
factor. If you're in it, 'cause I mean, I've worked
And
with
forgiveness was a hard thing.
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. That
Forgiveness.
was, and there was a lot of that.
Forgiveness.
That was a lot of that.
That was my issue.
See that a short-term relationship doesn't really give you that skill.
No.
Because
no,
if you can
no.
slam your door after 3 months, you just done.
Yeah.
You gone.
Yeah, for-
But
forgiveness.
But when
Especially
you're
if you let
married,
people too.
when you're married and something long term,
About to
there's a
come
lot
back
of
in there.
forgiveness.
Hey,
There's a lot
I work
of
with the
forgiveness.
elderly, right? And I've worked with some couples that, their spouse, they've been married 40, 50 years. And I would ask them questions like,
Oh yeah, you can't hold on to stuff.
how y'all do that? And one dude told me one time, he said, let me tell you something. He said, it wasn't easy. I ain't going to say I never stepped on no couch. I ain't going to say that, nobody nationally step out on nobody. He said, but this is the factor. If you love somebody, you fight for what you love. He says, so we may have had our issues, but we loved each other and we had to work through that. I said, 50 years.
But you know what I've learned too,
Amazing.
though, you
Amazing.
have to not only forgive, but you have to grow.
Yeah, you gotta grow.
So
with each other.
so you don't keep repeating the same
Yeah.
mistakes
That's what
and
he was
keep going
saying.
back.
You-
You got to
you-
be able to say,
you
okay,
have to grow.
I learned from that, and when you apologize, be sincere about it. Learn from it. Use that now to build upon and not
Yeah.
repeat. Because I found myself in cycles. I would do the same stuff that would irritate her, and so her anger and frustration, a lot of that was on me because I was causing it. And so then I had to look at me, and where before I didn't really have to look at me as
You
deeply,
didn't want her to feel like
you
that.
know. And I was like, why you like this? Why you like that? Well, it was because of what I was doing, and so I had to okay, let me back up a
A
little
lot
bit.
of self-evaluation.
Oh
going on,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's and so
Compromising,
that's-
turning levels. 2, 7,
You
bring
do.
it down 5.
It's
it's board
it's
is always moving.
A marriage is not just one volume. It's that
Right.
whole
It's a mixing
50.
board.
It's that mixing board of yeah. You got all that
Turn down
before
these
you.
tones over here.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
bring up
mix
these
it with something.
highs right here.
And then with a different song, different.
Right, yeah, right,
all
right.
over
Ooh,
again.
bring that bass
you know,
down, bring
you
that
got
bass
another
down.
kid. Oh, we got to do this over again.
Exactly.
Got another kid. Oh man, got a job. Oh, my
mixing
my
board
schedule
just got
changed.
bigger.
It's a
Yeah.
mixing board.
Yeah. So
And
I
as
think
big as this table, you got to continually adjust. Oh, we didn't get the time together. Got to turn the time up a little bit over here. You
Yeah.
know.
And it's like you really do. It's like that thing that love is patient, love is kind,
Oh,
love
yeah.
is not
Oh, yeah.
easily angered. I just recently took that. I knew about it, but then you sit down and you really read it, and that is truly the key to
That's
happiness.
it. That's it.
If you're really patient and not easily angered and gentle and with each other, you cannot go wrong.
That's it. God
I
is the
mean, they
key.
broke that down.
I wasn't
after-
patient. I was easily
God broke
angry.
that. I'm talking about that.
Popping off.
Ain't it so?
All that.
And I hate
You hadn't got to that
I ain't gonna
scripture
lie. That scripture worked my nerves.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that scripture. I ain't gonna lie. I love Jesus with some of them scriptures.
Right.
So the thing is, it's one thing to read a Bible scripture. It's another thing to live that Bible scripture.
Yeah,
to work
that's
that
it.
scripture
That's
out in your
it.
life.
That's
And
right.
it was
That's
hard
it.
to work out some of those Bible scriptures, like forgiveness.
Yes.
She
yes.
said like,
Forgiveness is it's a
Why
powerful
did you have
thing.
such a hard time forgiveness when it's such a big thing for a Christian?
Because I just felt you shouldn't be doing that stupid stuff.
from the beginning.
Right.
So why am I going to deal
And
with
see,
you?
her thing was too.
If you do that, you do it again.
she would bring up the stupid stuff over and over again.
Oh my God!
And it was
Oh.
like, wait a minute, that was years ago, but it would come
I was
up.
like,
It would come up. It would come up.
Red
It would come
flag,
up.
remember that? Let it go.
And it's like, and then that would get me
Elephant
upset.
syndrome.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you
It's
holding on
so,
to
you
that?
just-
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
you hold
the
to
whole
that.
description, slow to speak, slow, quick to hear, slow to.
No, I was quick
she
to
was
speak.
he was quick to speak,
You're live on
quick
Hot
to
Topics with
anchor.
Lady Charmaine.
Yeah,
What's your name?
anchor.
Where you calling from?
This is Michael McElvain calling from
Hey,
Houston,
Michael
Texas.
McElvain calling from Houston, Texas. Hey, what's your comment?
So you guys are talking about communication in relationships and mistakes.
Yes.
It's sad that statistically a lot of relationships coming from a place of everybody's coming from their own place instead of coming from a place where we can grow together. Like the brother said, how he had to learn that it's about the longevity, and that's what it takes, even through rough and trying times in a relationship. You know, communication's factor and like patience in the long haul is we're gonna be together forever, baby.
Forever.
I like that.
Forever.
And ever.
Okay.
Yes. Ever. That's right. You know, that's
Oh my God.
You know, so it's all about us being patient with each other and being patient, because in time, like they say, I think it's in the Bible, something that says, in time, this too will come to pass.
That's right.
You know, so, and I don't know scripture, but I remember that from
I know that's right.
There you go.
Well,
You know what I'm
Michael,
talking about?
yeah, I do. I want to
just
thank you
saying.
for calling
So
in. We have
I
another
just wanted
caller
to say
that's
that.
calling in, Michael.
All right.
Okay, thank
Y'all be
you.
cool.
All right.
But yeah. Oh, excuse me. There's another call that was calling in. But yeah, give us a call. There was a call that was calling in. Give us a call 916-226-9226. And when you go into marriage, you have to go into it with a mentality of this is forever, and you gotta do what you have to do to make it forever. Now, if he beating on you, hold on. We gonna put a right there.
Yeah, disclaimer on this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
He putting hands on you. That forever ends today.
What do you
Okay?
guys think that the
Before your
top
life
three
ends.
deal breakers though? Because some people like, well, I didn't break up because he was cheating or he was slapping me. I just didn't want it. Like with a marriage, what should be the breaking point? Are those the top things? Slapping or hitting somebody, cheating, and
Oh, that's my number one.
okay,
Yeah.
But everything else can be worked
physical
out, is what
violence.
you saying.
Yeah, physical violence.
Yeah, I agree. You
Yeah,
know, you leave with
definitely.
somebody
But
slapping
I
you.
think physical violence, and I think
I would-
even verbal, depending on how bad that is.
Emotional
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
mental
because, yeah.
abuse is real too.
Absolutely.
They can get to a point somebody doing that to you, you prefer them to hit you.
You're right.
You prefer
those words will
because
stay with
that's-
you forever.
Yes,
And-
Lord.
And when you talk about forever too, you got to be careful when you're in a bad space in your relationship. If you're arguing, if you guys are not seeing eye to eye, and if you look at that with your current state and you project that this is what I'm going to have to deal with forever, that may discourage you in your marriage.
Right.
So you can't look at the worst part of your marriage. At least for me, I couldn't look
That's
I couldn't
good.
look at the worst part and saying, do I want to put up with this forever? Because I didn't. I didn't want to put up with what we were going through forever. So I knew we need to work through that part. But the commitment was to work through it and not look at it at your current situation
Stop
as
on
being
that stump.
something
Yeah.
that this is what I want. Do I want to be like this forever?
Because
You
the
know,
worst
so
part is not your best.
that's
part.
not my best part, and that's not
That's
the
good.
part I should be
Okay.
projecting in the
That's
future.
amazing.
Okay.
And so that I had to be careful with that. So yeah, it's and you know what, it's not saying that we've arrived, but it's a continual giving, it's a continual sacrifice, and I think that's why marriage is not for the weak. It's you just can't take a day off and say, I'm gonna go to strip club tomorrow.
Right, exactly.
Right.
You can-
You bring more back.
Yeah. I'll be
some
I'll be taking our marriage all the way. I'll be just cracking the foundation of it if I
Yeah.
were to do that one stupid thing after all these years. And I couldn't blame her for saying, you know what, I'm not gonna be doing this. You know what I'm saying? So
Instead of just verbalizing your issue.
yeah,
to
at
the
either
person
time,
that you love.
we can implode and blow up everything. I mean, I think that's the realness of marriage. Like, wow, this is gonna be it's an everyday, talking about prayer and talking about having God involved, and it's every day.
Yeah.
I can't take a day off. Like, you don't want to be single today.
You know what?
What do y'all think about people who say relationships shouldn't be that much work? I should just be loving on them. What is that about? Oh, we got a call.
Hi, you're live with Hot Tops with Lady Charmaine. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hi, you're live in the air. Okay, well, I guess they hung up.
Okay.
Hello.
Got scared.
All right.
So what were you getting ready to say, Derek?
I wanted you guys' opinion on what was I saying? I forgot that quick. So
You
ready
said
for the caller.
people, oh man, yep.
Marriage shouldn't take that much work.
Work.
Yeah, like when people say, well, marriage shouldn't take that much. Like you guys talking about putting in the work, put up. What about people who saying it should just come easy? Like,
That's
do you think they're
realistic from what I'm
delusional? Or
learning.
what do you? Because I believe it's going to take work.
It has
But
to
but
take work.
but work
What amount of work should it take?
work in the sense of an investment. I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, it's work, but there's also the reward aspect. You gotta
Gotta
have,
keep
you gotta
that-
be, there's there's the
Incentive.
reward. I got somebody I'm gonna be with forever.
Yeah.
I got somebody that has my back. I ain't got to worry about who I'm gonna go out with. There's peace in our home, but that took work to get to the point where now we understand each other.
Yep.
During our arguments, I learned something about myself. She learned something about her. Now we can go to another level in our communication. So that's important.
Excellent.
Hi, you live with Hot Topics with Lady Charmaine. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Charmaine.
What's your name?
Charmaine.
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Hi.
What's your comment?
I just been really listening, and I wanted to kind of touch on something Marie said about basically, in my words, a damaged woman,
Mm-hmm.
and how women should hear themselves before they, get into any kind of relationship.
Absolutely. 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 Did you have any personal experience with that?
No, I don't. I just, a lot of people ask me questions, and I try to give advice the best way possible.
Okay. Good. Good.
And I see that in a lot of women these days. They want to be in a relationship, but they don't know exactly, like you say, they don't know exactly what they want, but they know they want to be in a relationship and they don't
Right.
want to be alone.
Right.
Absolutely.
And and they just go ahead and they just jump into it, but they still dealing with a lot of baggage.
Right.
They still holding on to a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that should be dealt with at the beginning of a relationship.
Absolutely.
Before you get married or before you do anything.
Right.
And that's the issue with a lot of relationships today. Everybody's just jumping in bed with each other, and they jumping in
You're right.
relationships with each other, and it's not gonna work out that way. It's not,
There's no foundation in
it's
that.
all about work, and everybody don't put work into anything. They want everything to come easy,
That's it.
and
Good point.
Well, I want to thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
All right.
all right, thank you.
You too. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Well, this has definitely been a good show. You could talk about marriage and relationships all day.
Okay, for real.
Marriage and
Dissect
relationships
them.
all day. Exactly. So thank God I got two married men on the panel. And Marie's
My little
divorced.
single self. Yeah, my
But
little
she's
divorced
single.
single self.
Divorced single self. Hey, thank you all for your comments. I see your comments. We appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you guys tune in every Thursday night for Hot Topics right here on the Charmaine Bassett and Lady Charmaine page. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Lady Charmaine page. And we got some more movie nights coming up, so make sure you go to the LadyCharmaineLive.com website and make sure you register if you want to be involved in any of our movie nights. And I want to remind everyone, what I would love for you to do is, wait, I can't even get it up here. I don't even know where it is. To be sure to like it. That's why it's not coming up. This is kind of odd. Hold on, you guys. And I want to make sure that everybody be sure to like and subscribe and make sure you follow us on social media. All you have to do is go to my Instagram page. It's I Am Lady Charmaine. And also my Facebook page, Lady Charmaine. And okay, everybody, let them know where they can find you real quick before we go.
I'll be here next Thursday.
Clap It Up Movement on Facebook, and Riri Loves You on Instagram.
I'll be here next Thursday too, and you can find me at Hair Hustler on Instagram and Derek Dennis on Facebook.
All right, now, and don't forget to join our Facebook page. It's called Hot Topics Real Talk, no chaser. So if you got any hot topics you want to talk about, be sure to drop them right up in there because you may hear your hot topic on the show. And again, everybody, thank you guys for watching and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.